So today was the day we've been waiting for, Division Agents. We've now seen what is coming with Season 9, and I've got all the details for you. My name is LtBuzzLitebeer, and here is my compressed recap of today's live stream, where Daria and Yannick talked about what we're going to see and should expect to go live in the game starting this Thursday, May 12th. If you like what you see, please make sure to smash that big, beautiful subscribe button and ring the bell to stay up to date on all things The Division related. Let's go. All right, so I've written down all my talking points for this one, but for the most part, I'm just going to throw out as much information as I can remember, and I apologize if I miss anything. So first up, confirmed by Yannick today that Fei Lao is dead. No more talk of Isaac didn't confirm her death or we're going to see her resurrected. No, she is confirmed dead by Yannick on stream, so end of story there. All right, moving on. Season 9 begins May 12th. That's this Thursday, and it's going to pick up directly where Season 4, that's post-Fei Lao and that whole fight at Camp White Oak, left off. So just expect to pick up the story right there and move on. The new Manhunt target is called Captain Lewis, and he's going to have, along with him, 4 new targets. You're going to have Castillo, Daniels, Chang, and Xander, along with all the Season 9 content, which is called Hidden Alliance. So during this hour-and-a-half stream, they really jumped off onto small, minute tangents and things like that, but I did want to mention, they mentioned countdown mode, and it has been reworked for difficulty, which we knew because they've mentioned it through the social media platforms, through PTS Phase 1, 2, and 3, and it's going to be included with Season 9, so it's going to be going live this Thursday. And overall, I was really concerned about countdown mode, as I was able to solo it in Phase 1 of the PTS, and you know what, after several hours and maybe 15 to 20 runs, it became way more repetitive than a joy to play, and ultimately I get really concerned that it was just a single floor squashed down version of the summit. Now they did mention during the stream that with this upping of the difficulty, you may be able to do this in smaller groups. They said that during the PTS, people were streaming it, that you may be able to do it in a duo, and it is possible, maybe, they kind of hinted at it, that somebody may be able to do it solo. So we're going to see. I'm personally going to challenge myself to try that out, but as I did in PTS Phase 1, that was far too easy. The objectives were just so simple, and then the end part was exponentially harder because they just overwhelmed you with hunters and disrupts and all sorts of elite Black Tusk running at you. So I'd like to see ultimately how the final version of Countdown kind of pans out. Included with this new season are 2 new apparel events showing up on your screens now. You've got the Fairview Crew, which begins on May 24th, and that's going to be followed up by Street Activation beginning on July the 5th. Now, Yannick did make mention of this, and it was kind of breezed over, but I want to just point it out again that some of these are strictly skins, these cosmetics, and you're not going to be able to equip the items themselves, but the skins are going to go into your transmog system, so then you can just paint them over your currently equipped items. And Yannick did also mention a second point. He wants to continue a trend of including 2 new apparel events with each new season. So in case you had any doubts about it, seasons are here to stay. As expected, Season 9 and the reward track is going to be as usual with 100 levels, including vanity items, exotics, etc. And then you're also going to be able to buy that alternate season pass where you can get like extra materials and extra caches and things like that. So expect to find, the new season exotics within this reward track. Expect to unlock the exclusive vanity items like the arm patch and things like that, also as you level up through these 100 levels. Now, once the VOG goes live for the Twitch stream, I'm going to include it down in the video description. I encourage you to watch it, but like I said, it's an hour-and-a-half long. But there's 2 really important videos that they splashed up during this live stream. One was the actual Season 9, the animated film that they made for it, which is always well done. I mean, Ubisoft always crushes those. But the second one was also very telling and kind of interesting, and it was these employee interviews from members of the Ubisoft Romania studio, their Bucharest studio, and this is the studio that handled the bulk of the design and development of the Countdown game mode and pretty much a lot of work within Season 9. And the first representative came on and stated that the studio itself, Ubisoft Romania, has over 1,800 employees, and they began work, and these are the numbers, you got to really pay attention to this. They began work on April 21st, 2021. So what is that, 13 months ago, on the Season 9 content. They had just 15, that's right, 15 people in that huge studio working on the new content. They had to learn the engine, the mechanics of it. They had to learn it all. And at its height, their team within the studio grew up to a maximum of 35 members. That's 35 members max delivered this content. So as somebody that has played through the Division 2, the expansion, Warlords of New York, better known as WONI, I want you to temper your expectations here. And I stated this probably a year ago, 18 months ago, 6 months ago when I made the videos. I said, don't expect this to be on the depth and the scope of something like WONI, because it's not. And you can clearly see that by the size of the studio that worked on it. Not saying these people aren't competent, which I'm sure they are, but only 35, which within this massive studio, were working on this new content. So as you start to look at it, that can maybe temper your expectations for what you're going to see for everything that goes live on Thursday. All right, moving along, and the second major discussion point for the stream was everything to do with the expertise system. They didn't really go into the finite details, but they did show off a few screenshots, and they discussed kind of the changes they made to leveling up your items, and they tried to make it a bit easier. So the cost should overall be less of a grind than in PTS Phase 1, when we all kind of looked at it and said, damn, it's gonna take us weeks and weeks and weeks just to get one item up to max expertise. But we're gonna need to wait and see how this all kind of plays out on Thursday. But it did look like overall the donations of the cost and of the materials and everything were reduced. Yannick did speak about the need for some sort of content to challenge ourselves with, and I've questioned this in the past. Why do we need all this extra power if we're already crushing legendary content? We need something to challenge ourselves with, and he did acknowledge that. And it's going to become even more evident as we level up through this expertise system and we become even more powerful. I mean, as that gun starts adding on more damage, as your armor becomes beefier, as your skills start hitting harder, you're going to hit legendary content with even more ease. And there were questions within the chat, hey, can we extend legendary content maybe over the classified missions or open up more missions or strongholds? As of right now, they don't have any plans to do that. Okay, again, moving on, and this is the third major talking point for the stream, and this is going to be an item that's not included. In fact, this and the next talking point are both items that are not included with Season 9, and that's going to be the fact that the Specialization System rework will not be included on Thursday. So I know it was discussed openly via the social media and the forums and things like that. I know Trick had posted some ideas about reworking it and making those nodes within the specialization trees more impactful. That is not going to be included with Thursday's updates. And Yannick did mention they were trying to balance it out. Should it make it so it's a bit more specific as far as the nodes, and they have like minor impacts, or do they go back to the days when specialization weapons actually inflicted massive amounts of damage on bosses, but therefore, according to them, kind of broke the boss battle mechanics? I would personally like to see the old days of the specialization weapons. They're not used within PvP, so let's make them impactful and powerful. Let's make those specializations very powerful within PvE. I love the days when I could one-tap things with the TAC 50 or the grenade launcher seemed to be able to down a veteran NPC with less than 3 rounds, right? Directly to body shots. I kind of miss those days. I understand why they're concerned about bringing that back, because it kind of breaks the damage vectors and things like, or deltas, they call them damage deltas. But I'd personally love to see those days, but that's not going to be included with this. So for the most part, those incredible specialization weapons on your back are just going to be eye candy for quite a while longer. And final talking point, Daria and Yannick fielded some questions, and as expected, the PvP contingent was very vocal in chat, to which Yannick simply replied they'd want to take a look at everything involved with PvP, but I guess we're just being honest, they don't seem to have the manpower. He addressed cheaters and the anti-cheat software and how sometimes cheaters are able to log back in faster than the system can keep them out, and they're constantly trying to update the anti-cheat software, and just no script here. As someone that really enjoyed the Division 1 Dark Zone, and moving over to Division 2, I don't find that desire to PvP in this game. Now, Division 1 had its own host of issues with cheaters in the Dark Zone and everything, but it seems like every time I go in now on PC, there's somebody rapid firing a nemesis from across the map and banging through walls, and it's just a mess. I personally don't enjoy it, and it doesn't look like it's going to get better anytime soon. I know they made a bunch of changes to the PvP meta. They seriously nerfed the resistance of the shields and things like that, but there's still people going crazy in the chat about they need to nerf skill builds, and there's all sorts of people talking about the cheaters, and it's just a mess right now, and I personally don't want to go in and do anything. The only reason I would go into the Dark Zone is if there's some sort of gear that's targeted gear that day, maybe in the Occupy Dark Zone or something like that. But yeah, it's just a big mess, and they don't seem to have the manpower to handle it right now. And so there you go. That's basically everything they covered during the stream. And this stream was long, over an hour and a half, and I've done my best to highlight everything important. I'm sorry if I left something out. Overall, it was good to see a lot of familiar names in chat, and FYI, at times the stream was hitting over 9,000 viewers, which is not bad. It just goes to show you there's still a viable Division Universe player base out there and interested in this game. Will Season 9 be enough to bring back more than just the rusted-on diehards, and will there be enough here to keep you interested for more than a week or 2 or 3? Sound off in the comment section below. Remember to smash that big, beautiful subscribe button and ring the bell to stay up to date on all things Division related. If you could also rate and or share this video, it would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget you can find and follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and over on my community Discord server. Links to all my socials in the video description below. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.